Chapter 51 12-14 Part 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Iron Fighting Soul, Soft Bones, Charming Rabbit, please report to the Sisyphean arena. Soon after, the announcement echoed through the hall. Xiao Wu's opponent was an assault-type soul master. Using her charm to get close, Xiao Wu then relied on her waist bow to win without much trouble. The audience was stunned when Xiao Wu revealed her second and third soul rings were both thousand-year purple ones. Some nobles even went to the lobby trying to dig up information, hoping to recruit her. However, Xiao Wu wore a mask, and the arena rules protected contestant identities, so they were out of luck. Tai Duhan Thousandhan Shura and Iron Duhan Yang Qingfeng report to the 15th arena. Thousandhan Shura was Tang San's nickname. Zhuqing originally wanted to enter the individual competition, but Ye Feng talked her out of it and asked her to get him some water. This changed the original storyline. Zhuqing's first opponent wasn't Tang San, but another player of similar skill. Iron Fighting Soul Nether Civet and Iron Fighting Soul Chen Sime report to the 16th arena. This time, Zhuqing's opponent wasn't Tang San, but an agility attack soul master named Chen Sime. Zhuqing was level 27, while Chen Sime was level 28. Relying on her experience and the power of her martial soul, Zhuqing easily won. 1 win, 1 point, * ding dong, star. Congratulations. You have altered the original storyline. Zhuqing's first opponent in the Great Soul Arena was not Tang San, indirectly resulting in Zhuqing's victory in a match. Reward: 1 assignable attribute point. Ye Feng smiled, hearing the system's voice. Even a small bonus was worth it. Allocating that 1 point to strength would permanently increase his strength by 10 gene. The arena battles continued. Ye Feng's opponent was a level 46 power-type soul master, but Ye Feng's attribute point total had reached 159, putting his strength close to 16 nyo. He defeated his opponent without difficulty. Once Ye Feng's points were registered, the announcer called out. Next, in the 2-on-2 matches, the Qingfeng team will face the 9 Heart Cat team. Please prepare. That's us, Ye Feng said. Okay, Zhuqing nodded. She followed Ye Feng toward the duo's arena. Tang San watched them go. Let's go watch, he said. Dai Mubai, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun all nodded, following behind Ye Feng and Zhuqing. They wanted to see just how strong the strongest monster at Shrek Academy really was, especially Tang San. Tang San believed he could catch up to Ye Feng, thanks to his Tang sect knowledge and diligent training. 6 years, Tang San and Ye Feng had been together at Notting City Junior Soul Master Academy for 6 years. Despite Tang San's daily practice, his soul power still lagged behind Ye Feng's. Ye Feng was now level 49, while Tang San was only level 29, a 20-level difference. Tang San clenched his fists. He didn't like feeling so inferior. Ye Feng and Zhuqing entered the ring. They still wore masks, and their height made it hard to guess their ages. A man and a woman stood in the center of the ring, both slender and well-built. They were the Qingfeng combination, naturally named. Compared to them, Ye Feng and Zhuqing did not seem like strong soul masters. They have an erratic aura, and their build suggests agility attack types, Ye Feng observed. Zhuqing agreed. Zhuqing didn't talk much. Since Ye Feng had met her, she probably hadn't spoken more than 5 sentences. Her cold personality made it hard to get close. Begin. I'm Yang Qingqing. My martial soul is the Baihe. Level 46, Agility Attack Battle Soul Sect. Please, advise, the woman said, as 4 soul rings appeared below her. 1 white, 2 yellow, and 1 purple. I'm Lu Feng. My martial soul is the 4-winged hummingbird. Level 47, Agility Attack Battle Soul Sect. Please, advise. 4 soul rings appeared below him, matching Yang Qingqing's colors. Most soul masters didn't have good teachers or family support, so they had to rely on themselves to find spirit rings. while they could get help from teachers at the Junior Soul Master Academy for their first 2 rings, most teachers had limited ability and couldn't help students get ideal rings. Yang Qingqing and Lu Feng were perfect examples of that situation. Zhuqing didn't introduce herself. Ye Feng had asked her to stay quiet during soul fights. 2 yellow soul rings appeared under Zhuqing. A dark, wind aspect force surrounded her, making her hair flutter and her more alluring. 2 soul rings. A great soul master, Yang Qingqing and Lu Feng exclaimed in surprise. Lu Feng couldn't help but question, there must be some mistake. We're a soul sect team over level 40. How can we be matched with a great soul master in their 20s? His voice trailed off. Ye Feng had summoned his 9-heart mysterious Tang, and 4 soul rings appeared below him, 2 yellow, 1 purple, and 1 black. A 10,000-year soul ring? Yang Qingqing gasped. Now they understood why they were matched with a great soul master. Zhuqing's teammate was a soul master over level 40, and he had a 10,000-year black soul ring. Yang Qingqing looked at Lu Feng, his face was grim, but he confidently reassured her, Qingqing, don't worry. He might have a 10,000-year ring, but his martial soul is a flower. If I'm right, he's either a control or support type soul master. If we focus on his girlfriend, we'll win this for sure. Girlfriend? Zhuqing was taken aback. They thought she was Ye Feng's girlfriend. Chapter 52 Zhuqing, I can win lying down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 52 Zhuqing, I can win lying down. Ha! Did you hear that? Her opponent thinks Zhuqing's Ye Feng's girlfriend. I gotta say, they do look good together. Ma Hongjun guffawed. Dai Mubai shot Ma Hongjun an angry glare. What's up, Dai? You don't have a thing for Zhuqing too, do you? Ma Hongjun asked. Dai Mubai didn't respond, remaining silent. It wasn't that he liked Zhuqing, she was his fiancée. Dai Mubai suddenly realized pairing Zhuqing with Ye Feng had been a huge mistake. First soul skill, beast blood boiling, the 9-heart Xian Tang in Ye Feng's hand emitted a red glow, which enveloped Zhuqing. Zhuqing felt her heart pounding, and her soul power surged faster. Beast blood boiling, a growth-type soul skill. For every level Ye Feng's soul power increased, her speed and strength would increase by 1%. Currently, with Ye Feng at level 49, this meant a 40% boost within a 40-meter radius. Zhuqing tapped her toes, feeling lighter. With a single stride covering 7 meters, she attacked Yang Qingqing. First soul skill, Nether Spike. Zhuqing's claws extended, doubling her speed, and she lunged at her opponent. First soul skill, Crane Claw. Yang Qingqing retaliated with her own first soul skill, meeting Zhuqing head-on. Fizz, star. The claws clashed, sending sparks flying. Despite being a level 40 soul elder, Yang Qingqing couldn't gain an advantage over Zhuqing with a single blow. First soul skill, Bird Step. Simultaneously, Yang Qingqing's boyfriend, Lu Feng, used his first soul skill, joining the attack on Zhuqing. Second soul skill, Frozen. Before Lu Feng's foot could connect, a patch of black ice froze him solid. Ye Feng simultaneously froze Yang Qingqing as well. Second soul skill, Nether 100 Claws. The second soul ring around Zhuqing glowed. Using her rapid rotation and the cat's claw's piercing power, she struck Yang Qingqing hundreds of times in the same spot within a heartbeat. It was incredibly fast and devastating. The claws ripped through the ice and left a trail of wounds. Second soul skill, Nether 100 Claws. Zhuqing repeated the attack on Lu Feng, who was still trapped in Ye Feng's ice. He suffered the same fate, slashed repeatedly. Zhuqing retreated, stepping back about 20 feet. It's over, she stated. Lu Feng and Yang Qingqing frowned, exchanging a look of disbelief. They hadn't given up, but the look in their eyes showed bitterness. Even with higher spirit ring levels, they were losing to a spirit master more than 20 levels below them. They were soul elders, after all. Second soul skill, Crane soaring to the sky. Third soul skill, hummingbird soaring, Lu Feng and Yang Qingqing acted in sync, their second and third soul rings lighting up. Wings sprouted from their backs as they flew past Zhuqing, heading straight for Ye Feng. They figured Zhuqing was only level 27, and her strength only came from Ye Feng's first and second skills. Especially the second soul skill Frozen, that was the hardest to defend against. That was why they decided to take out Ye Feng first. Lu Feng and Yang Qingqing had made a mistake from the very beginning. They should have targeted Ye Feng first, instead of Zhuqing. Oh, crap, Zhuqing muttered. Zhuqing expected them to attack her, but instead they bypassed her, closing within 7 meters of Ye Feng. Naive, Ye Feng smirked. Fourth soul skill, landslide. The fourth soul ring around Ye Feng pulsed with a black light. The 9-heart Xian Tang glowed with red and yellow light as Ye Feng slammed his palm into the ground. 4 fissures erupted around him, each extending more than 10 meters. They weren't actual cracks, but an illusion created by the molten lava that appeared, tricking the eye. Lava spewed from the cracks, engulfing Yang Qingqing and Lu Feng. Ye Feng's fourth skill, from a 10,000-year spirit ring, sent them flying. But it wasn't over. As Yang Qingqing and Lu Feng tried to escape the lava's reach, they realized they were slowing down. The sticky magma was acting like quicksand, trapping them in place. Gra! Ah! That they roared, unleashing their soul power to break free, intending to attack Ye Feng. But Ye Feng lunged forward, aiming for Lu Feng. You're an attack-type soul master. Lu Feng blurted out in surprise. Ye Feng didn't answer with words, but with a fist. His fist landed on Lu Feng's chest, sending him hurtling backward. Then, Ye Feng pivoted and turned to Yang Qingqing. As she glanced at her boyfriend, she knew Lu Feng was knocked out of the ring. As Yang Qingqing rotated her head, Ye Feng's fist struck her chest. Ye Feng was not gentle. He squeezed and deformed Yang Qingqing's breast. He didn't hold back just because Yang Qingqing was a woman. He punched her out of the ring. Blood sprayed into the air as she flew. The sound of Yang Qingqing's body hitting the ground echoed through the arena. Silence. Utter silence. When the audience finally came to their senses, someone murmured, "Is he really a support-type soul master?" Indeed, Ye Feng's strength and speed rivaled a third-ring soul grandmaster, possibly even matching a fifth-ring soul king. Even Zhuqing stared, dumbfounded. Zhuqing never imagined Ye Feng could be so fast and strong. She could have won this battle in her sleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 53 Conflict Explodes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 53 Conflict Explodes. The 9 Soul Cat combo wins. The host's announcement was met with enthusiastic applause. Ye Feng walked up to Zhuqing, held out his hand, and said quietly, "Zhuqing, we did it." "Yeah," Zhuqing replied. She glanced at Ye Feng's palm, hesitated a beat, then raised her own hand for a quick high five. "Let's go register," Ye Feng suggested. "Okay." Zhuqing was as cold as ever, like an ice queen. She barely spoke, responding to Ye Feng's comments with just a word or two, but Ye Feng knew her well. She was fiercely loyal beneath that frosty exterior. Quiet and kind, she would always have your back in a fight. As they walked, Ye Feng kept glancing at Zhuqing, his right hand occasionally touching the bracelet on his left wrist. Zhuqing, feeling his gaze, finally asked, "Ye Feng, is something up?" Ye Feng dropped his hand, smiling. "Nope." He'd been thinking about giving Zhuqing the fairy grass, hoping it would lighten her physique and boost her speed. But then he remembered the grass could also improve her spirit power. Right now, hers was at level 27, about to hit a wall. Without her third spirit ring, she wouldn't be able to absorb the full benefits, and the grass would be wasted. He decided to wait until she had her third ring before giving it to her. After their 2-person match, Shrek Academy had a team battle. Since Ye Feng's spirit power was now at level he didn't participate. Once it was over, he met his teammates at the gates of Soto City. "Where's the principal?" he asked Xiao Wu. "He said he had some business to take care of," Xiao Wu replied. "But," she added, tapping her lip, "he seemed pretty stoked about it." "Really?" Ye Feng asked. Yep. Ye Feng paused, lost in thought. Flender hadn't shown his face all night. The Great Soul Arena was also a place where gamblers bet. If he had to guess, Flender had probably won big tonight. Shrek only took in the best fighters. In a level playing field, the Academy's students would more likely win if their spirit power was up to 3 levels apart from the next bottleneck. Flender was probably too embarrassed to show up in person, but he secretly bet on his students. Alright, let's head back, Ye Feng announced. Okay, Xiao Wu replied. I've got something I need to do, Oscar said. What's that? Xiao Wu asked, her curiosity piqued. A girl doesn't need to know everything. Oscar winked at Ma Hongjun and chuckled. I'm not going. You and Dai can go, Ma Hongjun said without hesitation. Fatty, what's up with you? Did you switch teams or something? Oscar teased, eyeing Ma Hongjun's lower body. You're the one who switched teams. I've got Suihua, Aluo, Yan, Huamei. I made promises to Boss Yi, the teacher, and my women. I've got responsibilities now, Ma Hongjun said, his eyes firm. Thanks to Ye Feng's generosity, Ma Hongjun had plenty of girlfriends now. He didn't need to resort to back alley encounters to relieve his urges. Alright. So. Dai. Oscar turned to wink at Dai Mubai. Have fun, Dai Mubai said. You're not coming. Oscar whispered. Dai Mubai glanced at Zhuqing, the twin sisters flashing in his mind. A hot feeling stirred in his lower abdomen, but he noticed Zhuqing's cold eyes watching him. He replied, no. Fine, I'll go alone. Oscar said. Get lost. I don't have your questionable taste, Dai Mubai snapped, eager to distance himself from Oscar. Humph, fine, whatever. No need to get all defensive, Oscar muttered, turning and heading towards the brightly lit district of Soto City. Zhuqing turned away, avoiding Dai Mubai's gaze. As she passed him, her lips moved. If Ye Feng guessed right, she mouthed the words dirty and disgusting. Hey! You stop right there. Dai Mubai roared. Zhuqing ignored him and continued towards the gates of Soto City, leaving a frustrated Dai Mubai clenching his fists. Let's go, let's get back, Ye Feng said. You don't want to hang out, boss? Ma Hongjun asked. Not really, Ye Feng replied. Hey, boss, sometimes I wonder, you're so loaded. You haven't played the field yet. Ma Hongjun teased in a low voice. Although his voice was quiet, Xiao Wu, Tang San, and Ning Rongrong all overheard him. Nope, Ye Feng agreed. Wait, are you still a virgin? Ma Hongjun blurted out in surprise. Shouldn't I be? Ye Feng countered. No, boss, you don't get it. I mean, you're rich and old, and you haven't slept with anyone yet. I find that weird, like, almost as pure as Tang San, don't get me wrong. Ma Hongjun said. Fatty, if you think I'm waiting to settle down, you're wrong. I don't play with women outside because not just any girl can be my girl, Ye Feng's girl, Ye Feng declared proudly. Ma Hongjun stared at Ye Feng, speechless. Not only Ma Hongjun, but also Ye Feng's girlfriends Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong were also taken aback, when Ye Feng, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, Ma Hongjun, and Tang San caught up with Dai Mubai and Zhuqing, they were arguing. Zhuqing, what's your deal? Don't touch me. Tell me, what do you mean? Have you forgotten who I am? Filthy. You. Dai Mubai pointed at Zhuqing, trying to grab her, but she dodged his grasp. P.S. I recommend a book, Being Violent to the Protagonist from Douluo. Chapter 54 Comforting the Kitty, Part 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 54 Comforting the Kitty, Part, Dash. Life settled into a peaceful rhythm every morning after breakfast. Ye Feng and the Shrek 7 Devils kicked off their training. Ye Feng, weighed down with 100 kilograms, carried a basket on his back and iron weight strapped to his legs, ran between Shrek Academy in Soto City. 30 round trips a day. The others, Xiao Wu, Tang San, Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, Oscar, Ma Hongjun, and Dai Mubai, carried 30 caddies of weight and ran 5 times a day. Especially Ning Rongrong. Whenever she felt like she couldn't go on, Ye Feng's words would echo in her head, "Junior sister, time to shed some pounds." That always gave her the extra push to keep going. Tang San was fired up by Ye Feng's dedication. He increased his load daily, determined to catch up and surpass Ye Feng one day. For 4 days, Xiao Wu barely spoke to Ye Feng because he'd said he might not have only one woman in his life. Being a rabbit spirit, Xiao Wu wasn't sure she could accept that. On the 7th day, as Ye Feng walked along a quiet path in Shrek Academy, he heard a voice coming from the bushes. He tiptoed and jumped into a large tree. Under the tree, a man had pinned a girl to a large rock, holding her wrists tightly to keep her from breaking free. "Let go of me. Just let me go. Zhuqing, just give me a chance. Just let me go. Zhuqing, are you still mad at me? I haven't been out in days because of you. I'm a prince, doing this for you. Can't you see how sincere I am? Will you let me go first? Zhuqing, help me. I can't take it anymore. It's all Ma Hongjuan's fault. He has a girlfriend, and he even brought her to school to, blow off steam. He doesn't care about our feelings at all." No matter how hard Zhuqing struggled, Dai Mubai was relentless, like a thirsty man in the desert. "Mubai." Ye Feng jumped down from the tree and said, "I probably shouldn't get involved, but if Zhuqing doesn't want to be with you, forcing her seems wrong." "Zhuqing." Dai Mubai, noticing Ye Feng's familiar way of addressing Zhuqing, said coldly, "Ye Feng, you're getting a little too comfortable with that name. This is between Zhuqing and me. I suggest you butt out." "Okay, fine." Ye Feng replied with a smile. He hopped onto the boulder, squatted down, and stared at Dai Mubai and Zhuqing without blinking. "You." Dai Mubai was stunned and demanded, "Why don't you leave?" Ye Feng smiled faintly and said, "This isn't the Star Luo Empire. I want to chill here." "You got a problem with that?" Dai Mubai. Zhuqing. They stared at Ye Feng, dumbfounded. Ye Feng pressed on, "I'm a man of my word. I said I wouldn't get involved, and I won't." Dai Mubai, carry on. Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai's eyes went from dull to furious. Was Ye Feng seriously telling him to give him a live show? After a long, hard glare, Dai Mubai reluctantly gave in, getting off Zhuqing and clenching his fists. He wanted to beat Ye Feng to a pulp, but he knew he couldn't. Even though Ye Feng was only a level 49 Soul Grandmaster specializing in support and control, his strength and speed were comparable to those of an agility system Soul Grandmaster. "You're a snake," Dai Mubai spat, turned, and left. After Dai Mubai left, Zhuqing curled up on the rock, hugging her knees. Though outwardly strong, she couldn't hold back her tears. In the moonlight, tears streamed down her face. If Ye Feng hadn't shown up, her innocence might have been taken. Ye Feng stayed. After she cried for a while, she touched her bracelet, took out some tissues, and handed them to Zhuqing. She hesitated, then took the tissues and wiped her tears. "Zhuqing, can I ask you something?" Ye Feng said. "Go ahead," she said. "If you took away Dai Mubai's identity, would you still like him?" Ye Feng asked. Zhuqing paused, considering his question. If Dai Mubai wasn't the prince of the Star Luo Empire, if there was no arranged marriage by the emperor, would she still like him? She had never thought about it that way. They say you can't force love. If two people don't feel the same way, trying to be together will only cause pain, Ye Feng added. He'll be in pain too. Zhuqing asked flatly. If Ye Feng hadn't intervened, her innocence would have been lost. She doubted Dai Mubai would feel any pain. Before you came to Shrek Academy, Dai Mubai was known to fool around. Sometimes he was with two women at once. You knew that, right? Ye Feng asked. Zhuqing nodded. You were the one spying outside the Rose Hotel, weren't you? Ye Feng looked at her. He had felt like he was being watched when Xiao Wu confronted Dai Mubai at the hotel. Zhuqing nodded again. She had arrived in Soto City early. She'd seen Dai Mubai bring a woman into the Rose Hotel multiple times. But she didn't intervene because she was angry at him for abandoning the Star Luo Empire and giving up the competition. Seeing his self-destructive behavior only fueled her anger, so she hadn't stopped him. Dai Mubai has been here a while, enough time to earn a reputation. Ma Hongjun said he went to town almost every other day. The fact that he held back for 6 days after you arrived shows how much he cares, Ye Feng said. He just tried to force himself on me, and you're still sticking up for him? Zhuqing asked, surprised. Just stating facts. Actually, I'm partly to blame for tonight. If I hadn't helped Ma Hongjun find so many women, he wouldn't have brought them to the dorms. Dai Mubai wouldn't have been tempted, and this wouldn't have happened. Ye Feng looked up at the moon. Since his arrival, things had been changing in unexpected ways, and he had caused unpredictable butterfly effects. He wasn't sure what the future held for the Shrek 7 Devils. It's late. Time to head back, Ye Feng said. Okay, Zhuqing nodded, afraid that Dai Mubai would try again. She stayed close behind Ye Feng as they returned to Shrek Academy. After they left, Dai Mubai emerged from the shadows. He stared at Ye Feng's back, his eyes full of confusion. End of this chapter. Chapter 55 Departure to the Star Do Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 55, Heading to Star Do Forest. On the 8th day, Oscar practically bounced into Shrek Academy, announcing he'd finally broken through to the next level. Flender, without missing a beat, declared that he and Zhao Waoqi would be heading to Star Do Forest bright and early tomorrow so Oscar could snag his next soul ring. Xiao Wu was stoked by the news, too. Her own soul power was close to leveling up, and she was itching for an excuse to ditch the academy and train in the field. The Star Do Great Forest is legendary. It's one of the 3 biggest spirit beast hotspots on the whole Douluo continent, practically the size of the Barak Kingdom itself. It sprawls across the Heaven Do and Star Luo empires, with 2/5 of its land in Heaven Do and the other 3/5 in Star Luo, mostly untouched. The forest's terrain is a wild mix of wetlands, swamps, and everything in between. The spirit beasts get nastier the deeper you go, with rumors of ancient, powerful creatures who've lived for tens of thousands of years lurking in the center. Star Do Forest nudges up against the southeast corner of the Barak Kingdom, so Shrek Academy isn't too far, only about 100 kilometers. Thanks to Oscar's sausages, the 9 of them made it to the nearest town by nightfall. It's the classic live-off-the-land situation. Since the town's right next to the forest, it's a popular stop for soul masters. That's turned it into a bustling little place, packed with every kind of shop you can imagine, selling weapons, poisons, you name it. Zhao Waoqi led Ye Feng and the others straight to an inn to crash for the night. Ye Feng, being the leader, sorted out the rooms. He paired himself with Oscar, Xiao Wu with Ming Rongrong, and Zhuqing with Tang San and Dai Mubai. As for Ma Hongjun, everyone steered clear because of his evil fire. He'd had an episode once, and even Oscar wasn't safe, so poor Ma Hongjun got a room all to himself. After a day of travel, everyone except Ye Feng was practically slumped over the table, exhausted. Hey, Ye Feng, aren't you tired? Tang San asked. I'm good, Ye Feng replied. Even though Ye Feng's the leader of the Shrek 8, Tang San never actually calls him boss. Go figure. Before Ye Feng showed up, Dai Mubai was the top dog. But after Ye Feng arrived and proved to be stronger, Dai Mubai started calling him Boss Yi, thanks to Ma Hongjun's teasing. But Tang San still kept his distance. Let's order already. I'm sick of living off sausages. Boss Yi, call the waiter, Ma Hongjun bellowed. Alright, Ye Feng said. He flagged down a waiter and asked the others what they wanted. Xiao Wu, Zhuqing, Ming Rongrong all said they were easy. Ye Feng ordered some of the inn's specialties. Coming right up, the waiter said, taking the order. While they waited, a group of 8 swaggered into the inn. They acted like they owned the place, shoving past other guests without a second glance. Didn't matter if they knocked someone to the ground, they just kept moving. The other guests were ready to give them a piece of their mind, but they saw the group's outfits and thought better of it. They just swallowed their anger and got back on their feet. The leader was a handsome guy in his 40s, with slicked back hair that looked shellacked. He wore a fancy, moon-white Soul Master robe embroidered with silver thread. That's why no one wanted to mess with them. They were all Soul Masters. The leader was followed by 7 younger people, 6 guys and 1 girl, all wearing the same robes with a cyan ring on the left shoulder with the words Zhanghui stitched inside. "Hey, not bad," Oscar said, eyeing the girl from Zhanghui Academy. "You interested?" Dai Mubai asked. "She's hot, but way too flashy. No discipline. She'd be a nightmare to live with," Oscar said with a sigh. Oops, the Zhanghui girl's face went sour. The student next to her looked like he wanted to pick a fight. He started to get up, but their teacher grabbed his arm. The teacher whispered something to him, and the student nodded. Just then, the waiter came over carrying a big bowl of soup. The Zhanghui students all stood up and walked towards them. As the waiter approached Ye Feng, one of them stuck out his foot and tripped him. "Ah!" The waiter yelled. He stumbled, nearly falling, and the bowl of soup was about to spill all over Ye Feng. But Ye Feng moved like lightning, snagging the bowl before Tang San could even react. Not a single drop spilled. He caught the waiter with his other hand, saving him from a nasty fall. "Looking for trouble?" Ye Feng asked, narrowing his eyes at the Zhanghui students. "So what if we are? So what if we aren't?" One of the students said, then kicked at Ye Feng. Ye Feng didn't even flinch. "Ouch!" The Zhanghui student clutched his leg, wincing in pain. "Damn, that hurt." His kick felt like he'd hit solid iron. He stared at Ye Feng, shocked and confused. Why was he the one in agony? Ye Feng casually flicked out a palm and tapped the student on the chest. There was a faint cracking sound. "Those guys are dead meat," Xiaowu said. She shook her head, pitying the Zhanghui group. She knew Ye Feng's style. Once he started something, there was no way those guys were walking out of the inn in one piece. Chapter 56. A soul master who dare not cause trouble is not an excellent soul master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 56. A soul master who's afraid to rock the boat ain't worth a dime. Whoa! The Zhanghui Academy's lead teacher just stood there, jaw dropped, staring at his students sprawled out on the ground. Ye Feng's palm strike was perfectly aimed. He just knocked that loudmouth student from Zhanghui Academy off the table right in front of the teacher, and shattered the table to splinters. A female student from Zhanghui Academy knelt down, trying to help the guy whose mouth was bleeding. Gently touching his chest, she exclaimed, "They're broken. All his ribs are broken." What? Those words dropped like a bomb. Everyone nearby was stunned. Even the lead teacher from Zhanghui Academy dropped to his knees to check out the student's ribs. His face darkened. He realized all the ribs had multiple fractures, meaning the injured student's career as a soul master was over. "You." The lead teacher, shooting daggers at Ye Feng, exploded. "You crippled him. Get him. Drag him back to the academy." The Zhanghui Academy students summoned their martial souls, ready to unleash their skills, but Ye Feng brushed them aside like they were nothing. All 7 arrogant students were taken out by Ye Feng. "Want some more?" Ye Feng asked the Zhanghui Academy teacher, his tone casual. "I'm Ye Zhiqiu, head of foreign affairs at Zhanghui Academy." "What academy are you from? Get your teacher out here. Zhanghui Academy demands an explanation today." The lead teacher, Ye Zhiqiu, studied Ye Feng carefully. He knew that anyone capable of taking down his entire team without even using his martial soul must have powerful backing. He was itching to meet the people who brought Ye Feng here. "If you want to see my teacher, you'll have to beat me first," Ye Feng said with a smile. Such arrogance, Ye Zhiqiu sneered. Xiangui, manifest. With a stomp, 5 soul rings appeared around him. 1 white, 2 yellow, and 2 purple. A green light solidified into a thick turtle shell around his body. Whoa! 5 soul rings. Is he, a soul king? The reveal of Ye Zhiqiu's martial soul drew gasps from the onlookers. Ye Zhiqiu, basking in the attention, gave Ye Feng a mocking look. Then he froze. Ye Feng was perfectly calm. Great soul masters, I beg you. Don't fight in my shop. I'm just a small businessman. Have mercy. Please. The shop owner had no choice but to beg them to stop. If he didn't, he'd lose a month's worth of business. Kid, I'll be waiting outside. Come out if you've got the guts. Or, send your teacher out here, Ye Zhiqiu said, and stormed out of the hotel. Hearing this, Ye Feng followed him. Dai Mubai, Zhuqing, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and the others trailed close behind. Ye Zhiqiu frowned. Where's your teacher? Ye Feng replied, you're not important enough to meet my teacher. Ye Zhiqiu's face darkened. Fine, today I'll teach you some manners in place of your teacher. Second soul skill, glacial water jet. A wave of icy water shot toward Ye Feng. Ye Feng shot forward, appearing in front of Ye Zhiqiu in the blink of an eye. What the? Ye Zhiqiu thought. Something was off. First soul skill, black turtle shield. Ye Zhiqiu felt a heavy blow coming and, without thinking, used his first skill to defend himself. Ye Feng's fist slammed into Ye Zhiqiu's body. With one punch, Ye Zhiqiu went flying 10 meters and crashed to the ground. Ye Zhiqiu spat out blood, struggling to get up. But as soon as he stood, Ye Feng's fist connected again. Crack. The turtle shell on Ye Zhiqiu's body shattered. He flew back, a mouthful of blood spraying from his mouth. He slammed into 5 trees before finally falling to the ground. He spat out another mouthful of blood, failing 3 times to stand up. He looked at Ye Feng walking toward him, remembered what he had done to his students, and said with terror in his eyes, "What are you going to do?" "I'm Ye Zhiqiu, head of foreign affairs at Canhui Academy. If you cripple me, Canhui Academy will come after you." Ye Feng, staring down at Ye Zhiqiu, said coldly, "I'm not afraid of an academy that bullies the weak and kisses up to the strong." Ye Zhiqiu had been a bully all his life, but he had never met anyone like Ye Feng. He said in horror, "What are you doing?" "Don't be reckless," Ye Feng said, "Ye Zhiqiu, we share the same last name. I don't care if you're a Yi, but you are trash and you bully the weak. Do you know that's your biggest sin?" Ye Feng raised his foot and stomped on Ye Zhiqiu's chest. The deep sound made the ground seem to shake slightly. The turtle shell on Ye Zhiqiu's body was crushed by Ye Feng's foot, and a mouthful of blood gushed out of his mouth. Soul masters with beast spirits have high physical stats. But there is also a shortcoming. Once their Wuhuan is severely injured, their career as a soul master might also come to an end. Ye Zhiqiu's turtle shell was broken. Not only would it be difficult for him to improve his cultivation in the future, but he could no longer rely on the identity of the soul master to bully the weak. After dealing with Ye Zhiqiu, Ye Feng turned to face the Shrek 7 monsters. Zhuqing was impressed, Xiao Wu was indifferent, and Ning Rongrong was terrified by Ye Feng's actions. Xiao Wu knew Ye Feng well. What Ye Feng did just now did not surprise her at all. Ning Rongrong knew that his grandpa Jian was decisive in killing, but she never thought that her grandpa Jian's direct disciples would have the same personality. Zhuqing's expression was moved because Ye Feng's behavior was in stark contrast to her fiancé Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai always gave Zhuqing a feeling that he lacked blood. Ye Feng took in the expressions of the Shrek 7 monsters and said, "Didn't you say you were hungry?" Without another word, he turned and went back into the hotel for dinner. Ye Feng might have walked into the hotel, but he left an indelible mark on the hearts of Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, Dai Mubai, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun. Ding dong, star. Congratulations, you have changed the storyline. Before Tang San and others, you severely taught the teachers and students of Tsanhui Academy who are bullying and fearful. The reward can be assigned attribute points, 6 points. End of this chapter. Chapter 57 Star Do Great Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 57 Star Do Great Forest. Name, Ye Feng, Soul Power, Level 49, Wuhuan, Xianyuan Sword, Jiuxin Xiantang, Eye of Hell, Soul Rings, Yellow, Purple, Black, Soul Ring Skills, Boiling Beast Blood, Freezing, Water Spirit, Landslide, Self-Created Soul Technique, Human Sword Unity, Introduction, Domain, Sword Emperor Domain, Strength Bonus, 159, Agility Bonus, 333, Spirit Bonus, 10, Defense Bonus, 10, Assignable Attribute Points, 7. System, dump all attribute points into agility. Ye Feng commanded. A surge of warmth flowed from Ye Feng's mind, coursing through his body. He felt lighter, more agile. Ye Feng had crippled the 8 members of Tsanhui College. Since this was a small town, even causing a ruckus like that didn't bring the Barak Kingdom's city guards down on him. However, when Ye Feng was about to leave the next day, the hotel manager spoke with a strange tone, looking at him with apprehension. Ye Feng understood the manager's worry. Tsanhui Academy was known for bullying the weak. When the teachers and students returned and couldn't find Ye Feng, they might take their anger out on the hotel. So, before leaving, Ye Feng walked to a stone beside the hotel, and using his finger like a pen, carved large characters into the rock. Ye Feng was here. The sun was barely peeking over the horizon as the Shrek 7 Devils, led by Zhao Wuji, plunged into the dense Star Do Forest as one of the 3 prime locations for soul beasts. The Star Do Forest was a destination soul masters often dreamed of. A trip here usually meant they were about to level up. Of course, the outskirts of the Star Do Forest were also frequented by soul masters who hunted soul beasts for a living. They helped other soul masters obtain soul rings and sold the meat of their kills to wealthy nobles at exorbitant prices. During their cultivation, soul beasts' flesh and blood are infused with soul power. The meat of older soul beasts, especially, was rumored to extend life. For nobles, this was considered the ultimate health supplement. When entering the Star Do Forest, you not only needed to be wary of soul beasts but also other humans who ventured into the forest. Sometimes, the deadliest threat wasn't a monster but another person. Once we're inside, I won't step in unless we encounter a soul beast over 1,000 years old. So, watch yourselves. After entering the forest, Zhao Wuji laid down the ground rules. He was treating this as a training exercise for the Shrek 7 Devils, with Oscar's hunt as a side mission. Even so, Zhao Wuji made sure everyone stayed within 60 feet of him. Oscar, Ning Rongrong, stick close to me. This isn't some tame forest. We could run into soul beasts thousands, even tens of thousands of years old. Zhuqing and Xiao Wu, you take the right. Dai Mubai, Tang San, you're on the left. Ye Feng, you're the strongest, so you'll bring up the rear. Soul beasts love attacking from behind, so stay alert. With Zhao Wuji's instructions, everyone spread out. In case of an attack, they could immediately protect the support-type soul masters. The air in the Star Do Forest was filled with a refreshing fragrance. Ye Feng had already activated his Eye of Hell, enhancing his vision. The towering trees reached heights of at least 150 feet as they walked. Tang San glanced back, a hint of smugness in his eyes, clearly proud of his purple demon eyes. But when he noticed Ye Feng's eyes had turned a strange black, he was visibly stunned. His eyes. Tang San murmured, surprised. He hadn't expected Ye Feng to possess an ability similar to his own. Could it be an external soul bone? Tang San pondered. Ye Feng's master was Sword Douluo Qinshin, a guardian of the 7 Treasures glazed tile school. With that connection, Ye Feng could very well possess a rare treasure like an external soul bone. Tang San assumed Ye Feng's Eye of Hell was a gift from Qinshin. His smugness faded, replaced by envy. Ye Feng really lucked out with his master. Under Zhao Wuji's guidance, the Shrek Academy students advanced without incident. Xiao Wu was the most carefree, bouncing and skipping along the way, seemingly unfazed by the potential dangers. Suddenly, the trees ahead rustled. Something's up. Here it comes. Ye Feng and Tang San spoke simultaneously, both sensing the movement ahead. Careful, something's approaching fast. Oscar, Ning Rongrong, stay close, Zhao Wuji ordered, his tone serious. Once Oscar and Ning Rongrong were by his side, he commanded, Zhuqing, scout from the treetops. Zhuqing nodded and swiftly scaled a tree. See anything? Looks like a flying snake. Flying snake? What kind of tail? The tail, it's fan-shaped, with a bright red comb on its head. It's low to the ground, maybe 10 or 12 feet up. A coxcomb snake. Oscar, you lucky dog. Now we just need to know how old it is, Zhao Wuji said, playfully punching Oscar's shoulder. Zhuqing, how long is it? What color are its wings? Tang San asked. Around 20 to 25 feet long, and the wings are light red, Zhuqing replied. That puts it between 300 and 800 years old, perfect for your third soul ring. And the attributes align with Oscar. 1,000-year coxcomb snakes are rare. Oscar, Zhao's right. You've got some serious luck, Tang San said with a smile. Really? Oscar asked, excited. While the 1,000-year coxcomb snake has a simple attack, coiling and constricting, it's incredibly fast. Plus, its comb stores energy that allows it to bolt when threatened. They're tough to catch. But don't worry, snakes are afraid of birds, and Fatty's martial soul is a phoenix, which will suppress it. The only thing to worry about is it getting away, Tang San analyzed, looking pleased with himself. Even though Ye Feng's soul power level was higher, Tang San believed his understanding of soul beasts was superior. I wouldn't bother with it, Ye Feng said abruptly. Why? Tang San looked at Ye Feng skeptically. Ye Feng, do you realize the age and attributes are a perfect match for Oscar? Chapter 58. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 58. The phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake bolted toward Ye Feng, Tang San, and the others. Soul beasts usually have a strong sense of danger, but this snake was heading straight for them as if in a blind panic, even though they were clearly visible. Here it comes. No time to waste. Tang San, you know these snakes best, so you're in charge, Zhao Wuji ordered. Got it. Let's do this, Tang San replied, smiling. The Shrek 7 monsters showed off their skills, with Tang San using his blue-silver grass to weave a massive cage around the snake. Throughout the whole encounter, Tang San never asked Ye Feng to intervene. It was as if he was deliberately keeping him out of it. Even with all their efforts, the snake nearly escaped. It was incredibly fast, and even Tang San's ghost shadow wasn't enough to keep up with his current spirit power. Finally, Zhao Wuji used his tracking ability to severely injure it. He grabbed the coxcomb snake by the tail and tossed it to Oscar. Oscar, make this quick. Stick that dagger in its crest and finish it off. The soul ring will be yours, Zhao Wuji said with a grin. All right, Oscar nodded, drawing his dagger from his storage device. Stop! Just as Oscar was about to strike, an old, raspy voice called out from the direction the snake had come from. 2 women approached, one old, one young. The older woman looked to be in her 60s or 70s, with neatly combed white hair. Despite her age, her complexion was rosy, giving her a youthful appearance. She carried a 3-meter-long snake-headed staff. 6 spirit rings circled her. I am Kaoxiangxiang, the old woman announced. Her spirit rings were 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 2 black. Beside her was a beautiful young girl with short, ear-length hair. She looked older than Ye Feng, around 16 or 17. A simple dress hugged her figure, and her dark brown eyes were fixed on the snake at Oscar's feet. She, too, held a snake-headed staff, but hers was shorter, only 2 meters long, and had 2 yellow spirit rings. 6 soul rings. A soul emperor. Zhao Wuji muttered, then released his own spirit rings. 7 of them appeared around him, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. Excuse me, respected soul sage, would you be willing to let this child have the coxcomb snake's soul ring? The old woman asked politely. Why? Zhao Wuji asked. Because we found it first, the girl answered. You found it first? How can you prove that? We didn't see you anywhere around when we found it, Oscar said anxiously. Young man, look at the snake's belly. See those 3 new scratches from my staff? The old woman said with a smile. Oscar checked and, sure enough, saw 3 fresh scratches that looked like they could have been made by the old woman's staff. Well. Oscar hesitated, looking to Zhao Wuji for guidance. So what? Zhao Wuji said dismissively. Maybe you found it first, but we're the ones who took it down. It would have gotten away a long time ago if it wasn't for us. Perhaps, the old woman said gravely. But my granddaughter just broke through level 30, and this spirit ring would be perfect for her. Zhao Wuji shook his head. Senior, you're wrong. You say the ring is perfect for your granddaughter, but it's also perfect for my students. Oh. The old woman looked surprised. Are you saying one of these children has reached level 30? Zhao Wuji nodded. The old woman considered this. In that case, she said, let's follow the rules of the Soul Master world. Zhao Wuji frowned. What rules? Have your student who broke through level 30 compete with my granddaughter. Whoever wins gets the soul ring, the old woman replied. That's not possible. My student is a food-type soul master. How could he compete with your granddaughter? How about one of the other students compete with her instead? Zhao Wuji suggested. Fine. The old woman glanced at the Shrek 7 monsters. They were about the same age as her granddaughter, so their spirit power levels would probably be similar. Oscar, who do you want to fight for you? Zhao Wuji asked. Let's have. Oscar's eyes scanned Tang San, Ye Feng, and the others. He smiled, walked over to Ye Feng, and said, Boss Yi, want to fight for me? Me? Ye Feng was surprised. Not only Ye Feng, but Zhao Wuji, Tang San, Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai, Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Ma Hongjun were all astonished. Ye Feng's soul power wasn't at level 20 or 30, but a whopping 49. If he fought Meng Yiran, wouldn't that be bullying her? That's why everyone was so surprised. Yep. Oscar grinned, nodding. Since you're willing to give us the opportunity, we students of Shrek Academy should pick someone to compete. We have to take care of you, after all. Oscar turned his back to the old woman and the girl and winked at Ye Feng. The old woman was getting impatient. Have you finished discussing? Let's get this over with. Okay. Ye Feng nodded. He stepped forward, looked at the old woman and the girl, and said, I'll compete for Oscar. All right. The old woman glanced at Ye Feng, nodding without hesitation. He looked only 12 or 13 years old, younger than her granddaughter. She didn't think his soul power could be higher than hers. The old woman gestured to her granddaughter, who stepped forward with a confident smile. Meng Yiran, spirit is the snake staff, level 32 battle spirit master, she announced. Chapter 59 Subverting the Storyline. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Feng, your advice, please. Ye Feng simply nodded to Meng Yiran level 49, Foring Soul Sect, if he just laid out his power level, it would probably freak her out. So, he kept it to himself. Where's your spirit? Why haven't you summoned it? Meng Yiran pressed. No need. I don't need to use my spirit to deal with you. Ye Feng said confidently. You sure about that? Meng Yiran frowned. Positive. Ye Feng replied. That ticked her off. She lunged at Ye Feng with her snake staff. Ye Feng wasn't using his spirit skills, and she figured he was just trying to insult her. He was younger than her. She'd hit level 9 spirit power when she first awakened her spirit, practically born with full power. She'd always considered herself a genius. And now he was saying he didn't even need to use his skills against her. She swung the snake staff, attacking him repeatedly, but he dodged every strike. First soul skill, snake staff, star. She was determined to get that coxcomb snake's soul ring. Frustrated, she used her first soul skill. Her spirit power surged, condensing into multiple snake staffs. With a flick of her wrist, they shot towards Ye Feng. He tapped his toes, leaping 10 feet in the air, easily avoiding the initial attack. He landed lightly. But Meng Yiran smirked. With another wave, the staffs that had already flown past turned around to attack his back. He just barely dodged the first strike. Normally, anyone would be focused on the immediate threat, never expecting the staffs to loop back. Watch out! Xiao Wu shouted. Ye Feng moved like lightning towards Meng Yiran. Before she could react, he was in front of her, snatching the staff right out of her hand. You! Meng Yiran gasped. The flying staffs were controlled by the one in her hand. Now that he had it, her first soul skill was useless. The staffs vanished into thin air. Meng Yiran stared, amazed at his speed. Then, eyeing his hand on her staff, she said, "You're asking for it. My staff is coated in poison." Ye Feng smiled calmly. "Lucky for me, your poison has no effect on me. I'm immune." "Poison immunity," Meng Yiran echoed, stunned. "Poison immunity," Snake Woman Chao Tianxiang exclaimed. "Poison immunity," Tang San, Zhao Waoqi, Ning Rongrong, Oscar, Xiao Wu, Zhuqing, Ma Hongjun, and Dai Mubai joined the chorus. Tang San especially felt that with his black jade hand, the poison wouldn't affect him either. He activated his purple demon eye, confirming that Ye Feng didn't have a similar skill. Tang San was intensely curious how Ye Feng could shrug off the poison. Tang San had no idea that Ye Feng had toughened his body with star anise black ice grass, raging fire Xingjiashu, and the Binghuo Liangyi eye. He carried a tiny ice and fire yin yang eye inside of him. Not only was he immune to ice and fire, but his body was also highly resistant to poison. Most poisons were useless against him. "You lost," Ye Feng stated. He suddenly released the staff and struck it with an open palm, sending it flying, and pushing Meng Yiran back several steps. "You." Meng Yiran frowned, her expression tightening. As her spirit power surged again, Ye Feng saw her determination to keep fighting. Crouching slightly, he punched the ground trembled. The force was comparable to a soul sect. This. Meng Yiran was speechless, staring at the cracked earth. If he'd used that force against her, she'd have been finished. He was clearly holding back. "You win." Chao Tianxiang sighed. "I accept the bet. The coxcomb snake's soul ring is yours." Meng Yiran frowned. "Grandma," Chao Tianxiang looked at her lovingly, comforting, "We lost. We'll talk about it when we find your grandfather." Chao Tianxiang and Meng Yiran turned to leave, but Ye Feng stopped them. "Leaving already?" Chao Tianxiang's face hardened. Angrily, she threw her snake staff down with a loud clatter. "What else do you want?" Ye Feng said plainly, "No need to get all worked up, old lady. I just wanted to ask Oscar." "Oscar, do you really want a coxcomb snake soul ring?" Oscar looked at Ye Feng, puzzled. "Boss Yi, I don't get what you mean." Ye Feng replied, "Oscar, I suggest you don't go for the coxcomb snake's soul ring." "Why?" Tang San interrupted. Oscar stayed silent. Tang San continued, "The coxcomb snake's age and attributes are perfect for Oscar. It's a tough soul beast to catch. Why not go for it?" Ye Feng glanced at Tang San, then back at Oscar. "My teacher said that when a spirit master gets a soul ring from a soul beast, if the age of the ring is less than 10 years, he'll get a soul skill from the soul beast's lifetime. The so-called skill is an ability the beast mastered. What ability the spirit master gets is closely tied to their spirit. Oscar, your spirit is a sausage, a food-based spirit. If you get the coxcomb snake's ring, your third soul skill is likely to be a speed-type skill. The coxcomb snake might have the ability to use nutrients in the coxcomb to increase movement speed for a short time. What's wrong with that? Tang San pressed. I'm saying it would be a temporary speed boost. Ye Feng glanced at Tang San, wondering why he was pushing Oscar so hard. Was he just showing off his lack of knowledge? He turned to Oscar. If your third soul skill needs to boost speed, you could find bird-like soul beasts, the natural enemies of snakes. Oscar, do you still want the coxcomb snake soul ring? To change the story and get attribute points, Ye Feng patiently explained. End of this chapter. Chapter 60 Meng Yiran, I want to report Ye Feng for messing up the mandarin ducks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. Oscar hesitated, glancing at Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji agreed with Ye Feng's reasoning, especially knowing that Ye Feng's master was Jian Daochen Xian, a prominent figure. His words carried weight. So, Zhao Wuji remained silent, keeping his opinions to himself. Tang San, however, was annoyed by Ye Feng's words. He saw it as a challenge, especially since his own teacher, the master, had put forward the 10-core competition theory of Wuhuan. Preventing Oscar from obtaining the coxcomb snake's soul ring felt like a direct provocation. This soul beast's age is perfect for Oscar. You should know that its soul ring can enhance a soul master's attributes. A high-level soul ring is extremely valuable. Oscar, conflicted, looked back at Ye Feng, waiting for his explanation. Ye Feng responded, just because we don't take this soul ring doesn't mean we can't find one that's just as suitable. Oscar, it's your decision. It's your life, so you decide. Remember, don't be afraid, and don't regret it. All eyes, Ye Feng's, Tang San's, Zhao Wuji's, Zhu Zhuqing's, Ning Rongrong's, Ma Hongjuan's, Dai Mubai's, and Oscar's, were on him. Oscar considered the situation. Ye Feng had made his points clearly. The phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake's soul ring might be good, but it would likely grant a flying ability that was primarily for escape. To use this ability, the snake would have to use the nutrients stored in its crest, which meant any resulting soul skill would be time-limited. A significant drawback. Tang San's points were valid as well. The crest's age, about 600 years, was ideal for Oscar. The limit for a soul master's third soul ring was 760 years, making the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake's soul ring close to the upper limit. Naturally, as a soul master, Oscar wanted to become stronger. Oscar looked at Ye Feng, a mix of emotions in his eyes. Boss Yi, if I don't take this soul ring, wouldn't it be a waste? Ye Feng smiled. He walked over to Oscar, leaned in, and whispered something in his ear. Oscar's eyes widened, and he nodded enthusiastically. After Ye Feng finished, Oscar approached Meng Yiran, smiled, and said, "It's yours." What? Meng still looked at Oscar in surprise. Oscar's words really shocked her, and questioned, "You really want to give me this soul ring?" Oscar nodded firmly. Why? Meng still asked suspiciously, "Since you don't want this soul ring, why did you want to grab this soul ring from me before?" Oscar smiled and said, "It was my duty to snatch this spirit ring. Because it was the last one we intercepted and knocked out. It is my heart to send you this spirit ring." Meng still listened to Oscar's words, speechless. What Oscar said makes sense. The snake lady approached Chao Tianxiang, her eyes full of surprise. She never expected things to change so drastically. She looked Oscar up and down, asking kindly, "Young man, what's your name?" "Ma'am, I'm Oscar," Oscar replied politely. "Ma'am." Snake Lady Zhao Tianxiang was stunned. Not paying attention to Oscar's nickname, he asked, "How old are you? Can you talk about a girlfriend?" "I'm 15, and I haven't had a girlfriend yet," Oscar said, scratching his head shyly. "Well, just about the same age as me," the snake lady said, giving Tianxiang a knowing smile. The snake lady felt that Oscar being a support-type soul master made him a great match for Meng Yiran and would greatly benefit her granddaughter, Grandma. Meng Yiran blushed, understanding the implication in her grandmother's words. She said shyly, I should probably just get the soul ring first. Alright, Chao Tianxiang nodded. Let's go find a better soul ring for Oscar, Ye Feng suggested. Oscar bid farewell to Chao Tianxiang and Meng Yiran before leaving with the group. After they had walked a good distance, Ma Hongjun, glancing back at Meng Yiran and Chao Tianxiang, asked pointedly, Boss Yi, are you trying to find a girlfriend for brother Ao San? Ye Feng heard Ma Hongjuan's words, especially Ma Hongjuan's voice was not soft. Meng Yiran and Chao Tianxiang glanced sideways at the back, knowing what Ma Hongjun was thinking, and replied in the same voice, Oscar is a soul master of the food department, and when he awakens his martial soul, he is born full of soul power. That I think it is enough to be worthy of the daughters of those big families. Born with full soul power. Chao Tianxiang stared in surprise, looking at Oscar's retreating figure. Oscar could clearly sense the intense gaze on him, realizing the woman was now more interested in him. Oscar nudged Ye Feng and whispered, Thanks, Boss Yi. Ye Feng smiled. Don't mention it. I didn't do anything. Ye Feng, Oscar, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, Zhuqing, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, Tang San, and Zhao Wuji continued their journey along the outskirts of the forest. As they reached a small clearing, a hawk's cry suddenly shattered the silence. The hawk's screech was deafening. A blue-feathered eagle soared through the sky. That's a green-feathered eagle, a top bird. Legend says it has the blood of the ferocious green-scaled eagle. 1,000-year-old green-feathered eagle can fly as fast as a 10,000-year-old bird. See the single crest on its head. It's over 1,000 years old. Ye Feng, using the eyes of hell, clearly observed the eagle. It is a great spirit beast, and its age is right for Oscar. But, who's going to take it down? Tang San asked casually. Of the 9 teachers and students at Shrek Academy, only Ma Hongjun could fly. Tang San glanced at Ma Hongjun. Ma Hongjun shook his head. I can't do it. I can only fly for short bursts. I can't match its speed. There's no way I can catch it. I'll go, Ye Feng volunteered. Thinking of it, Ye Feng summoned the Shenyuan sword martial spirit. That's, the Shenyuan sword. Tang San was startled, having almost forgotten that Ye Feng had another martial spirit besides Jiuxin Xiantang. Like him, Ye Feng was a dual martial soul master. Of course, Tang San didn't know that Ye Feng had 3 martial spirits, not 2. Ye Feng stepped onto the Shenyuan sword and began to fly. He soared into the sky, moving with incredible speed, reaching a terrifying 37 meters per second at full power. P.S. I recommend a book by my wife. The Silver Dragon King is the heroine, and among human beings, men serve as slaves and women serve as prostitutes. Title: The Ancestor of Douluo, Dragon Destroys the World.